Well, every office has them, except ours. Good managers and bad ones. We have the good ones, I mean. What separates the good from the bad? According to a recent study, only 40% of managers are considered excellent, and more than 30% lack the skills necessary to do their job. Here to break down the good from the bad, the very good Mary Abbajay, president of CareerStone Group. Mary, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Rebecca.
So off camera, Chairman Brown was giving you kudos for being one of those successful, women-owned DC businesses.
I'm embarrassed, yeah.
How many employees do you have now?
Right now we have about 10 employees.
And you've been in business
for 16 years, different businesses. I've had 3 different businesses in 16 years.
I knew you back in the day when you were a Toledo Lounge co-owner. Well, now you've really become successful in teaching other people how to get jobs and then do their jobs.
That's right.
And one area where a lot of people say people aren't doing their jobs is managers. You say there are 5 key things, starting with project management.
Project management, absolutely. I mean, managers always have to balance productivity and positivity, getting that job done and creating a climate where people feel engaged and motivated. So you have to have those technical skills. Get the job done, get results, plan, budgeting, be strategic. This is not a time to be a soft manager.
But you say give your workers their feedback. That's the second most important thing.
That's the second thing. So once you have those technical skills down, you've got to really then focus on the soft skills. And feedback is essential. Feedback is a two-way street. As a manager, you have to be constantly seeking feedback about yourself. You need to know your weaknesses and your strengths so you can leverage them. And you have to be able to give feedback to everybody else. That is the heart of performance management, which managers hate to do.
Now, not to make this a guys versus the girls show, but
yes, women are better.
No, well, but I also find that I want criticism, but I take it differently than my guy counterparts, and my boss kind of has to give my criticism differently. Is there a gender difference, or is it just me?
Well, there's a people difference, whether it's gender, whether it's background, whether it's temperament, and that's a key skill. Is one size doesn't fit all. If you are a manager, you have to know how to get the best performance out of you, Rebecca. So if I'm your manager, I need to learn how to give you feedback so you can hear it and so you can act on it.
When I managed a staff of about 150 in politics, I found that some of the people that I tried to back into the criticism never heard it at all.
Never heard it.
Others, if you didn't back into the criticism,
they were
walked away devastated. So it was a learning lesson. Delegate, you say.
Delegate. This stuns me how bad people are at delegating. The art of delegating is making it clear when you give a task to somebody what the desired outcomes are, what their parameters are, and your expectations, and what their authority is. I had someone call me just the other day. 3 people called me about this one person. 3 people that this person reports to like 3 people.
Drives me nuts.
And I'm like, why don't you tell her what you want? Why are you telling me? And it sounds like you're giving her mixed messages. Be really clear not only about what you want, but what authority that person has to achieve results.
And let other people know they have that authority.
That's exactly right.
I think that's one way bosses undermine, by not saying to people, that person has the authority and you listen to them. Yep, that's a good one. And you say motivate, engage.
Motivate and engage. The key to motivating and engaging your employees is to know them individually. Again, this goes back to the feedback, one size doesn't fit all. Rebecca, you're going to be engaged if I'm your manager and I actually really care about what engages you. Right?
What's interesting, I've got a big mouth, so I go into my boss's office all the time. So he knows everything that motivates me and doesn't motivate me. But I know a lot of other people that feel like they shouldn't just walk into his office. Should bosses have an open door policy?
Bosses should have an open door policy, and bosses should be meeting with their employees regularly, not just once a year when they give them their 360. It could be 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. We often advise our clients to do what we call stay interviews. We do exit interviews just fine. Why are you leaving?
That is a great
Do a stay interview, and all you have to do is ask 3 questions. What do you love about this job? What will keep you here? And what might draw you away to another organization?
I love that idea.
So
now,
easy.
to my boss's credit, he hears that from me every day, and he so far has kept his open door policy. And finally, along those lines, you say communicate, communicate, communicate.
I wish someday I could walk into an organization and not have to say you have to learn how to communicate, but it's still an essential human skill.
It's amazing to me that in offices across the country, bosses still have the attitude of, we'll tell you what you need to know. When I think pretty much everything is need to know if you want to work together as a team.
That's so exactly right. And I understand that people are afraid to tell the truth, or they think too much information, the employees might know too much. But we have learned, and I've learned this as a business owner with many employees, the more you can tell your employees and the more you tell them, the more motivated and engaged they are.
It builds loyalty. It makes them feel like they really are a part of the product.
That's right, and they'll come and solve problems for you. If they know there's a challenge, they'll solve it. Like when we used to, when the very first thing we opened the bar, we were afraid to tell the employees how much money we were making because we were like, oh my God, they'll steal from us. But you know what they did instead? Well, they probably stole a little bit. But what they did instead was they're like, let's beat last night's record. Let's beat last night. They got engaged and motivated to really help the bottom line.
That's great advice. Mary Abbajay, as always, appreciate it. Thanks so much.